my first rule is be prepared. Make sure you ask yourself a few different questions. If you've got somebody working in communications or media with you, use that to your advantage first and foremost. Get their professional advice. Make sure you understand which medium you're using. Are you doing a newspaper interview? Are you doing something for TV or radio? If you're doing it for radio, is it a live interview or is it a pre-record? You really have to understand which environment you're going into, because that will mean that you're better prepared with the length of your answers, understanding how long you're going to be required to do that interview for, and most importantly, you should be able to talk to the journalist or the producer before you go on to get a clear understanding of what it is that they want to ask you. They want to have a really good interview with you. They've got questions for you, but they want you to be prepared as well, so they get the very best possible end product when they go live to air or with whatever they produce for that night's bulletins. It's really good that you take the time to get the information you think that will be helpful for the interview, but most importantly, you have a really clear understanding about what the message is that you want to get across to your audience. What are the facts? What are the ideas? What are the issues? What are the things you want your audience to walk away from that interview understanding? Sometimes you can say, I don't have that information, because the worst thing you can do when you do an interview is to lie. So there is nothing wrong with you saying that you don't have that information in front of you if you simply do not have it. Particularly if it's something that is pre-recorded, that can be edited. You can always go away and say, look, I don't have that right in front of me right now, but I will go get that information that you're seeking for you. Or if you're not the right person to ask. For example, if you're working for the Department of Education and they're asking you a Department of Health question, it is okay to say that. Because sometimes the journalists don't understand that either, or they've just made a small mistake. So it is okay to be able to ask to get further information. Sometimes a journalist won't like the answer you're giving. They might not believe the answer you're giving, or they want to try to get you to say something differently. It is okay to say the same thing again if that is your answer. Because you're not there to make things up, you're there to deliver a message, to deliver information. So feel comfortable in giving the same answer. If they're trying to ask you something to be, heaven forbid, a little bit tricky sometimes, or if they're not satisfied with the answer you're giving, it is okay to hold your ground and to deliver the information that you have, because that is your answer. If you are prepared, you're going to go really well. You're going to go really well. But the other thing that's really important to put into context too is that unless you're doing my job, unless you're a seasoned politician, when journalists engage with you, they're genuinely engaging with you because you're the expert or you have the latest information. They want you to have a good experience and they want you to have a great interview. So I think that's important to go into mind too. This isn't about confrontation. This isn't about people trying to set you up. You're the source of information that they want to hear from, so they want you to have a good media interview. The other thing I'd say to people, I've seen it happen so many times with people who aren't seasoned media performers and don't have to do interviews too often. Don't hold your hands behind your back. I see that it really makes people might feel a bit more comfortable at the time, but if you really want to be able to express yourself, I always advise people, have your hands out in the front. So that way, even if you don't know what's happening, they are moving and it's going to make it easier for you to communicate to your audience.